Good morning, students. Welcome to part 3 of Act 1, Scene 1, The Merchant of Venice. We had discussed in the previous two parts that Nerissa and Portia are talking to each other. This is the first time Portia is introduced in the play, and from here we will be knowing about her likings towards Bassanio and Bassanio's inclination towards Portia. So in the previous two parts we had discussed that both of them, Nerissa and Portia, are discussing about the suitors who had come to Belmont to woo Portia, where we saw that Portia did not find any of them suitable for the post, or you can say did not find any one of them eligible to be her lawfully wedded husband as per the conditions of her dead father. And at the end also we came to know of part 2 that Nerissa informed her, or I can say she gave a good news to her, that these suitors who had come till now were not willing to go through this test of caskets, and they are returning back to their home and they are no more interested in getting married to Portia. Now I move further in part 3, that is also the conclusion part of this Act 1 Scene 2. I move further. Here Portia says, "If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them fair departure." Now here Portia is saying, if I were to live as long as the ancient Sibylla. Now who was this character Sibylla? Sibylla is, or the real name which I would tell you of this character, which is taken from the Roman mythology, is Sibyl. She is a prophetess, and Apollo granted her many years of life, as there were sand grains that she could hold in her hand. Here she is used as the traditional old woman who is blessed with long years of life. And then she says, if I live as long as her, I would rather die virgin like Diana. Diana is goddess of virginity in Roman mythology. So she says, I'll remain spinster, I'll not marry, and I'll live alone like Diana. If I am not won by any of these suitors, or by the method which is laid down by my dead father, or this selection procedure what he has put forth before me before time, so if I am not able to get a suitable suitor for myself, then I don't mind, I can live like Sibyl or Sibylla, or like Diana, spinster and alone throughout my life. And then she says, I'm glad that this crowd of suitors, like we had discussed about them, that we had in part 1 and 2, we had the French man, we had the English man, Scottish lord, Count Palatine, and all these suitors. She says, I'm happy that they are very reasonable. Very reasonable means they are not going to take any risk. They are commoners. They are not ready to take any chance for their life by putting themselves into this dangerous process of selection. So she says that I'm happy and excited and glad for the fact that these suitors are very reasonable and they have not taken the challenge. And she says there is none among them whose absence I regret, or in this whole lot there is not even one whom I am going to remember or miss. And then she says, I also pray to God to grant them a happy journey back to their home. Nerissa says, do you not remember, lady, in your father's time a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier, that came hither in company of the Marquis of Montferrat? Here Nerissa asks Portia, do you not remember, madam, that when your father was alive in his time, a Venetian who was a scholar as well as a soldier, who came here in the company of the Marquis of Montferrat? Do you remember him? Do you remember that Venetian, that man who came here? So Portia says, yes, it was Bassanio, as I think so was he called. She says, yes, I remember. If I'm not wrong, and if I remember it correctly, his name was Bassanio. Nerissa says, true, madam, he of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon was the best deserving a fair lady. She says, very correct, ma'am. His name was Bassanio and he was a Venetian. And then she says, ma'am, if I'm not wrong, and if my judgment from my foolish eyes is not wrong, I think of all the men who had come here till now, he seemed to me the most deserving to win a beautiful, intelligent, elegant lady like you. Portia says, I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise. She says, Nerissa, I remember him very well, and I agree to you. What you talk about him and what praise you talk about him is correct. He is worthy of your praise. Then in between enters servant. How now? What news? Portia says, hello. What is the news? Why are you here? The servant says, the 4 strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave, and there is a forerunner come from a 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word. The prince, his master, will be here tonight. The servant comes in and he says, the 4 visitors who were here, the suitors who were here, they are all departing back. They are going to their home. And before going, they wish to see you as well as they wish to take your leave. And along with them, there is also a messenger from a 5th suitor. And who is he? The Prince of Morocco. The servant says, madam, the messenger brings the news that his prince, that is Prince of Morocco, his master, will be here tonight. Further, Portia says, If I could bid the fifth welcome with so good heart as I can bid the other four farewell, I should be glad of his approach, if he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil. I had rather he should shrive me than wife me. Portia says, I really wish if I could welcome the fifth suitor as gladly as I am bidding farewell to these four suitors who are leaving my house, who are leaving my place. She says, I should be happy to hear of his arrival. Because I am not happy, I don't want to welcome, and I am not interested. So my feelings are actually not the same as I was having just few minutes before when these suitors were going away from here. And then she says, if he has the virtues of a saint, but dark color complexion like a devil, I prefer that he hears to what I am speaking, to what confessions I am making. And if he hears that, I really hope instead of marrying me, he should leave and go. Then she says, come, Nerissa, Sirrah, go before, whilst we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door. She says, come, Nerissa, and then she turns to the attendant and she says, go ahead of us as we shut the gates on one suitor. Now, one doesn't mean only one suitor she's talking about. She's talking about that set of suitors who are leaving. So this is a way of saying that she's saying that I'm trying to send these suitors out and there is another to knock at the door. She says, as we shut the gates on one suitor, another knocks at the door. When I'm trying to just shoo them all out one or the other way, trying to get rid of them, the moment I get that little happiness that they have all gone and there's no one else on my head for this selection procedure, I get another news of another suitor coming up, and again my life is at stake, and they go out. That is excellent, means they all leave and go and see who is the next suitor. With this, children, we come to the end of Act 1, Scene 2. I will be giving you the assignment. Kindly take your assignments seriously, do them, because your attendance is also marked on the basis of your assignments. All those children who are submitting the assignments on time, your attendance is marked according to that. Those who are not, your attendance will not be marked. So take your assignments seriously, view the videos, do the assignments, and send your responses as soon as possible. Till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you.